Tonight, breaking news, the desperate search for the missing after catastrophic and deadly flash flooding in central Texas. And now the tropical storm churning toward the Carolina coast. First, the disaster declaration expanding across Texas. More than 40 people killed, including children. The number of missing still unclear, but at least 27 girls from a Christian camp are unaccounted for. The agonizing wait for parents and loved ones. Homes, roads, and vehicles washed away in the raging floodwaters along the Guadalupe River. Helicopters, drones, and boats joining the multi-agency search and rescue efforts. Hundreds evacuated and rescued. The stories of survival. And tonight, the promise from the Texas governor. And Tropical Storm Chantal now threatening the southeast. Warnings issued for parts of the Carolinas and along the East Coast. Our weather team tracking it all. A massive wildfire in central California exploding in size overnight. The so-called Madre fire, now the largest blaze in the state so far this year. And the new evacuation orders. July 4th fireworks explosions leaving several injured on boats in Alabama and Georgia. This just the latest in a series of fireworks mishaps. What we're learning tonight. The garbage pileup in Philadelphia in the summer heat. Union workers walking off the job, but negotiations resuming today as the strike enters a fifth day. The high stakes for both sides. An emotional goodbye for soccer star Diogo Jota. Family and teammates joined mourners as the Liverpool player was laid to rest in Portugal. A big showing by an American at Wimbledon, ousting the defending champ. And America strong tonight, life after a shark attack. Meet the inspiring athletes paying it forward.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Whit Johnson. We begin tonight with breaking news. The desperate search for the missing after catastrophic and deadly flash flooding in central Texas. More than 40 people are dead in Kerr County, including more than a dozen children swept away in the fast-moving floodwaters. These new images showing the devastation and destruction at Camp Mystic, an all-girls Christian summer camp where dozens are still missing. But the total number of those unaccounted for is unclear. The floodwaters swiftly washing away homes and vehicles, leaving behind a trail of mud, debris, and heartbreak. In neighboring Travis County, flash flooding also turning deadly, with several still missing. The severe weather threat in Texas is not over yet, and now a new tropical storm, Chantal, taking aim at the southeast. Our weather team is standing by with the forecast, but first, ABC's Mireya Villareal leads us off tonight from Kerrville, Texas.
Tonight, deadly flash flooding engulfing several parts of Texas. Authorities say at least 40 killed. 3 deaths are being linked to major flooding in Travis County overnight, and at least 11 are still missing. The San Gabriel River today also overflowing. Flash floods there prompting evacuations. And in Kerrville, just northwest of San Antonio, first responders continue to battle treacherous conditions as the death toll rises to at least 43. 15 of them children. Authorities now saying they are moving from rescue to recovery.
What makes you feel like this has gone from rescue to potential recovery? Because there is a difference.
We will eventually get to the recovery.
Crews searching for the countless still missing from those devastating 4th of July floods. But those still missing include over 24 young girls from Camp Mystic. These images showing the devastation at the campsite, the beds in the cabins completely upended. An all-girls Christian summer camp that hosted over 750 kids.
As far as unknown other missing, we do not have an accurate count, and we don't even want to begin to estimate at this time.
The Guadalupe River rising 26 feet in less than an hour. This video showing some of the aftermath. Debris stuck in the upper branches of these trees in Center Point, Texas.
Help is coming!
This woman clinging onto a tree after she was swept downriver. Lorena Guillen runs Howdy's restaurant nearby.
For the 4th of July in Kerrville, when it was perfect weather for fireworks, this place was packed. I mean, every single hotel, RV park was full.
She says all the RVs here were washed away.
We had all the EMS and rescue team trying to save a family that was at the river, clinging for life, and they couldn't get to them.
You heard them.
We all heard them.
This area got more than a foot of rain in a matter of hours, swelling the Guadalupe River, sending floodwaters streaming into neighborhoods and communities, overwhelming campgrounds.
You can see the absolute power of this storm and the raging floodwaters by looking just right behind me. You can see a trailer wrapped around this giant tree, and across the river, you can see what looks like a mobile home.
Pierce Boyette and his brother Ruffin managing to escape from nearby Camp Lahuna with the help of heroic staff.
The flood started getting bigger, and it was going up to, we have bunk beds in our cabins, and it was going up to the top bunk, and we had one choice, and we had to swim out of our cabins.
The White House monitoring the situation. The Trump administration saying they intend to help.
The federal government needs to be here for the support and extra resources on the ground as well, and that is what we are doing.
Mireya Villareal joining us now from Kerrville. Mireya, we can see some of that debris behind you. Give us a sense of what people there in Texas are going to be facing in the hours ahead.
Well, you know, Whit, as of right now, we do know the disaster declaration has been expanded for the state of Texas, adding 6 more new counties. The federal government also saying they're going to issue their own disaster declaration to help out as well. But as you just mentioned, this is all about the community. You can see right behind me, people are cleaning up. These are all volunteers doing whatever they can to pick up the debris, knowing that over the next few days, we're going to see more weather hitting this area. Whit.
A long and difficult road ahead. Mireya, thank you. Let's get right to meteorologist Dani Beckstrom from our New York station, WABC. And Dani, you're tracking both the flood emergency in Texas and the new tropical threat in the southeast.
Yeah, well, we have the updated track for Tropical Storm Chantal, but we'll start first with the rain in central Texas because heavy rain continues to fall near Austin. I know that's not what we want to hear. This does wrap up tonight with the flash flood watches expiring around 10 p.m. local time. But for now, the flooding continues in parts of Travis County, Williamson County, and Burnett County. Now let's talk tropics as Tropical Storm Chantal crawls toward the coastline. Conditions will deteriorate tonight with landfall expected between about midnight and sunrise tomorrow morning. Heavy rain, gusty wind. We have tropical storm warnings in effect near the coast, including Myrtle Beach. Again, the heavy rain, 2 to 4 inches, can produce flash flooding. The gusty wind can cause problems as well. Continued to see the scattered showers and storms through Sunday morning in the Carolinas, but even as the remnants move inland, rough surf and rip currents will continue to impact the southeast coast through the remainder of the holiday weekend.
Yeah, multiple threats we'll be watching. Dani Beckstrom, thank you. We appreciate it. And as we just noted there, Chantal is bringing the risk of dangerous rip currents to parts of the East Coast, coming as many are flocking to the beaches over the long holiday weekend. Some beaches advising people to stay out of the water. And several people were injured after fireworks exploded on a boat in Alabama during 4th of July celebrations. It's just the latest in a series of fireworks mishaps, some of them deadly. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, as Tropical Storm Chantal gains strength off the southeast coast, parts of northeast Florida to the outer banks of North Carolina on alert for dangerous surf and life-threatening rip currents as millions flock to beaches over this July 4th holiday weekend. Watch as this lifeguard frantically swims out to help 2 surfers off Myrtle Beach caught in the chop. In Florida, severe weather creating even more danger. A family of 3 struck by lightning. A 17-year-old girl rushed to the hospital. And it's not just the storms keeping people out of the ocean. More than 24 beaches closed across the country due to harmful levels of bacteria. And while many gathered to celebrate on the water, a series of boat explosions rocking popular hotspots. In Tennessee, a massive explosion setting off the entire arsenal of fireworks on this barge.
Oh my God! No! No!
This pontoon boat on Alabama's Lake Martin exploding Friday during what officials say was an unpermitted fireworks display. 6 people rushed to the hospital.
We're contacting an outside agency to assist with the injuries. It's going to be multiple injuries.
And in neighboring Georgia, flames tearing through this boat after a blast injuring 7 people, including a 5-year-old. Another celebration turning tragic in California, where an 8-year-old girl was killed after authorities say illegal fireworks misfired in her direction. 1 person arrested.
And with the holiday weekend wrapping up, the focus now is on getting home. Sunday, tomorrow, expected to be the busiest travel day, both in the skies and on the roads. Experts say it's best to get going early or leave late. Whit, you'll run into that heavy traffic between 2 and 6 p.m.
Yeah, gotta plan ahead. Morgan Norwood, thank you. Now to the union strike in Philadelphia. Negotiations resuming today after garbage workers were among the nearly 10,000 people to walk off the job 5 days ago, seeking better pay and benefits. The trash is now piling up. And 4th of July celebrations impacted when major stars canceled their performances. Here's ABC's Perry Russell.
As bags of garbage pile up in Philadelphia,
it's starting to smell already, as y'all can see.
Tonight, contract negotiations resume for the thousands of union workers on strike. More than 9,000 members from District Council 33 demanding higher wages. Their jobs include fixing roads, answering 911 calls, and picking up trash in the city. Grammy winners Jasmine Sullivan and LL Cool J, headliners for the city's Independence Day concert, canceling their performances.
There's absolutely no way that I could perform cross a picket line.
Members of DC 33 reportedly make on average $46,000 a year. Union President Greg Boulware says he wants incremental wage increases.
Our place right now is 555 over the course of 3 years.
Mayor Sherelle Parker says the city offered a more than 13% wage increase over her 4-year term.
I will not put the fiscal stability of the city of Philadelphia in jeopardy for no one.
The mayor striking a softer tone yesterday.
We are working extremely hard, doing everything that we can do, Philadelphia, to reach a fair and fiscally responsible contract.
A judge ordered workers from the medical examiner's office who were on strike to get back to work. The city says there were delays in picking up dead bodies. A 19-year-old was shot and killed on Thursday, his body lying in the street for hours. Whit.
Oh, just awful news. Perry Russell, thank you. We head overseas now to the American aid workers injured in Gaza. Authorities say militants threw grenades at 2 workers with a controversial operation backed by Israel and the U.S. It comes as hopes for a ceasefire deal are fading. What Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is now saying about the latest proposal from Hamas. Here's ABC's Inez de la Catera.
Tonight, ceasefire negotiations facing a new setback. The Israeli Prime Minister's office saying in a statement, the changes Hamas is requesting to make to the Qatari proposal were delivered to us last night and are unacceptable to Israel. This after Hamas said it had submitted a positive response to the U.S.-backed 60-day ceasefire proposal that would see the release of 10 living hostages and 18 hostage bodies in exchange for the release of a still undetermined number of Palestinian prisoners. President Trump just yesterday saying,
I'm very optimistic, but, look, it changes from day to day.
But the big sticking point remains. Hamas wants any ceasefire deal to lay out an end to the war, something that, so far, the Israelis have not budged on. Meanwhile, 2 Americans working with the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation were injured today after 2 grenades were thrown at an aid distribution site south of Khan Yunis, according to the GHF. The workers are now in stable condition and receiving medical treatment. But the GHF's practices have been widely criticized. According to the UN, more than 500 Palestinians have been killed over the last 4 weeks on the way to collect food at GHF sites in Gaza.
The Israelis will still be sending a team to Doha to continue negotiations, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be meeting with President Trump in Washington next week. Whit.
Inez de la Catera, thank you. Now to President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill, ramping up the immigration crackdown with $170 billion, a massive and historic infusion of cash for detention and deportation. Here's ABC's senior White House correspondent, Selena Wang.
Tonight, the first image of the 8 Trump administration detainees heading to South Sudan after the Supreme Court cleared the way for their removal to the war-torn nation. The undocumented migrants had been held at a military base in Djibouti as the legal battle played out. All of the men have been convicted of serious crimes, but only one is from South Sudan. This comes as President Trump celebrates a major political victory, signing into law a sweeping domestic bill that makes a historic $170 billion investment in immigration enforcement.
So you have the biggest tax cut, the biggest spending cut, the largest border security investment in American history. We want to have strong borders.
The new law includes funding for the border wall, more detention beds, and $100 billion for immigration and customs enforcement. The administration promising more detention centers like this, dubbed Alligator Alcatraz by state and federal officials, opening this week in Florida. 200 Marines also sent to the state to help with immigration enforcement.
We got to work with the farmers.
But the president acknowledging the hardships for farmers who employ a large percentage of undocumented workers, floating the idea for allowing those migrants to stay in the U.S.
If a farmer is willing to vouch for these people, in some way, Christy, I think we're going to have to just say that's going to be good, right? We don't want to do it where we take all of the workers off the farms.
Despite Trump's repeated promises to protect farmers, immigration raids like this one on a strawberry field in California have continued. We wake up in fear, this farm worker says. Many are concerned that if they go to work, they won't ever come back.
And with those immigration raids are putting cities across America on edge, especially in Los Angeles, where some of those July 4th celebrations were canceled. Fear is keeping many undocumented migrants inside, skipping school, work, even family gatherings, afraid of being swept up and detained. Whit?
Selena Wang, our thanks to you tonight. Now to Wimbledon and the American knocking out the defending champ, Emma Navarro, taking down Barbara Krejcikova. Let's get right to ABC's Ashin Singh. And Ashin, the Americans having an impact.
That's right, Whit. Another intense day of matchups here as Wimbledon wraps up its round 3. Only 4 Americans remain, though, as 34 seed Brendan Nakashima lost in a match that lasted over 5 hours. Ben Shelton's serve, though, was too much against Hungary's Marton Fucsovics as he beat him in straight sets. He now joins Taylor Fritz as the only American man to advance to the round of 16. The last time an American man has won Wimbledon was Pete Sampras back in 2000. On the women's side, American Emma Navarro came back after going down in the first set to defeat defending Wimbledon champion Barbara Krejcikova, who's playing through injury. Navarro now joins American Amanda Amenisova as the only American women to be in that round of 16. You can catch more Wimbledon action tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. right here on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN+. Whit?
All right, we'll be watching. Ashin, thank you. There's much more ahead on World News Tonight. This Saturday, an emotional farewell in Portugal. Teammates honor the soccer star Diogo Jota with a poignant tribute. And the fast-growing wildfire raging in California, effects now being felt 100 miles away. Next tonight, California's largest wildfire of the year exploding in size. The Madre Fire expanding to 79,000 acres in just 72 hours. The flames 10% contained, tearing through rural parts of Los Padres National Forest. Smoke drifting 100 miles south to the Los Angeles area, prompting air quality alerts. Fire's cause still undetermined. Today, friends and loved ones saying their final goodbyes to soccer star Diogo Jota. Teammates from Portugal's national team and his Liverpool club filing into a church near his hometown, one holding a wreath bearing the number 20 he wore in England's Premier League. Jota and his brother, Andre Silva, laid to rest 2 days after dying in a car crash in Spain. A former coach saying their spirit will be with them forever. When we come back here, remembering Julian McMahon, a former co-star, reflects on the actor's death. To the index now, fellow actors remembering Julian McMahon. The Nip Tuck star died Wednesday in Florida after battling cancer. The Australian-born actor's first big U.S. TV role was in the series Charmed. Co-star Holly Marie Combs posting on social media, "I hope you find our lady friend and dance in those rose petals," a reference to late co-star Shannon Doherty, who died from cancer last July. Julian McMahon was 56. Still ahead, the shark attack survivors now turning pain into purpose. America Strong tonight, the shark attack survivors adapting, then uplifting.
We first introduced you to J.J. Reeder Jr. nearly 3 years ago. 11 years old at the time, he was bitten by a bull shark while snorkeling with family in Florida.
I'm happy to be alive.
Undergoing 4 surgeries, eventually losing his lower right leg. Speaking to our Victor Okendo.
I wanted to get back in the ocean.
10 weeks after the attack, he went back to that same reef.
I did not want the hospital or the shark attack to be my greatest fear.
And recently, JJ got his first surfing lesson from adaptive surfer and fellow shark attack survivor Mike Coots.
Shortly after my 18th birthday, went out for a surf session like any other morning. As the shark came out of the water and grabbed onto me, I became an amputee right then and there.
Mike turned his pain into purpose, now teaching other amputees to do things they never thought possible. Mike and JJ connecting in Oceanside, California.
And we're both going to go surfing today.
I look up to him because of him facing his fear and going back into the ocean.
But this lesson about much more than surfing, a clinic on how to inspire and overcome challenges.
I feel in some sense like the luckiest amputee in the world. Days like today of surfing with JJ, these are the reasons why I'm here.
Amazing work. Keep it up. I'm Whit Johnson in New York. Have a great night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.